So a lot of these girls or women can't get a job or a bank account if they don't have men that are like telling the banks, this is my woman, she is under my care. So if crypto can actually solve this problem, then I do see a big value in it. Just having a smartphone, you're able to open a crypto wallet. Do you think that more people are getting bank accounts or more people are getting smartphone? So first off, I just want to say that this is not financial advice, and I'm here to just share with you guys what I am currently doing for my own portfolio. I think owning cryptocurrency is actually a luxury, like investment. So how I think you should split your money is my opinion, but here it goes. Let's say an average medium income for a Singaporean in 2022 is $5,000. This is how I would suggest you to split up that $5,000 if you're someone who's in your 20s to 30s. So 50% of that should be your expenses. So your housing, your bills, your food, clothes, 50%. 20% of it should go into your long-term investments, depending on how much money you want to get back in the next 20 to 30 years when you're less likely able to work, or maybe you don't want to work anymore and you have that option of doing something that is making way less money but it makes you really happy. So you want to make sure to have that covered. And then next, save 10% aside for savings. This is sort of like the emergency fund. For example, you crack a tooth and you need to go to see a dentist, right? Always have a certain amount inside your bank that is for all these kind of emergencies. And also make sure you have insurance, because living in this first world country, we have the option of paying this small little premium in case we need like a larger sum in the next few years, etc. I think it's really a cheat code to have your insurance. Then the next 10% would go into charity. So it can either be charity, for me, I feel like growing up in the Asian culture, or giving back to your parents, right? A lot of us actually take out 10% of our income and give it back to our parents as a form of taking care of them. So that is something that you want to strive to do every single month, not when you have more money. The thing is, we think that, okay, when I have more money, when I have $1 million, it will be easy for me to give away 100,000, to the charity or to my parents. But that's not true. It's easier to give small amount when you have small amount. And for the last 10%, this is your fun. So you can either use it to invest in like books every month, or something to grow yourself, or like an investment into a business, a small startup business that you want to start doing. This is the fund that you should be touching. And when I speak about cryptocurrency investment, this is the fund I'm talking about. You should not go more than 10% of your income every month. This is the equation I have came to use and make peace with. So losing this 10% is not going to make me like unable to eat for the next month. And that is what I think everyone should be comfortable with if they want to get into crypto. Only use money you're willing to lose. I know this sentence has been used very loosely. No one can comprehend what it's like losing $500 a month on a 5K salary. Think about it, $500 is actually a lot. You can use it for a lot of other things. So you want this investment to be something that you don't even think about, because to me, this is the mid-term investment. Once you have your 20-30 years settled and you want something that is like 5 to 10 years, then I think that this is a good way to invest your money, because you already get everything else covered. Your expenses, your parents are taken care of, you have savings for emergency, you have long-term savings. Then you can think about investing in cryptocurrency. You don't want to be spending future money. So tomorrow it might be going up and you might be thinking, oh my gosh, this is a holiday to Maldives and all that, and then the day after it's back to, it's really volatile. It's back to your initial investment and you're like, damn it, I should have taken out the money, I should have spent it, this is what I could have done. And then you start getting all your emotions into it and you start realizing who you actually are. So that is basically trading, right? But we don't want that mindset going into cryptocurrency, because it's actually really volatile, and you want to be able to have that old money vibe where you're just allowing things to happen. You know that you already have everything else covered, you're not eagerly trying to spend the money. And that's a really good way to differentiate a good investor versus someone that's just gambling in the market. In this channel, I just want to go through the thought process on why I'm planning to hold it for the next 5 to 10 years. And here are the considerations I have thought of before I did it. So firstly, we have to cover what is wrong with the current finance system. Singapore is great. It's not as bad here, but we'll still cover in general. When you're talking about investment, you want to talk about the world in general and how you can put this money, this thought energy you have into the future you like to see. I still think that right now we are quite early into the game. It's for people who can hold it until it's adopted by many other people in the future. So traditional banking system has its own limitations. Firstly, you can't get all your cash at once if you want. And secondly, if you go below a certain amount in the bank, they get to charge you. Thirdly, when you do foreign exchange, change into a different currency or like change it back, there are charges. And next, you don't have full control of what happens to your money. So tomorrow, the banks might go bust and you don't have any backing, and that's all, your money is gone. Everyone went to the bank run, take their money and run, and you're the last one there, so you don't get your money back. So that's a risk, that's a real risk. Maybe not that common in first world country, but we have to take into consideration that our brothers and sisters from overseas are still suffering that risk. And lastly, there's also inflation. Let's say if the government is not doing a good job, your money is just deflating its value. So overall, that is currently what crypto promises to change in the future. So the first thing that it promised to solve is the inflation problem, because we have a lot of money printing going on that is causing people's money that they have on hand to be devalued over time. And for Bitcoin, there's only 21 million of them that's ever existed and going to exist. It will solve that problem as soon as everybody starts, adopting it. So another problem that it's promising to solve is global accessibility. So I was just reading this book called The Age of Cryptocurrency, and within the first chapter is talking about how some countries where they suppress their women, those women are unable to get a bank account. They have to either go with their brother or their father to be like, okay, this is the man in charge of me and therefore I am reliable. So they can't even make their own money. And I heard that a lot of them who make their own money have to give it to the man in their family, so they can't even have their own bank account. So if crypto can actually solve this problem, then I do see a big value in it, and I do want my money to be invested in this realm where I'm bringing this future into my world, where there's more equality. Okay, so that's one thing that really touched my heart when I know that after traveling so much, you really get to see how fortunate you are in the first world country with this camera, with this laptop that you're using to watch this video. You see there's a lot of discrepancy, there's a lot of difference between the first world and the third. But I'm not saying that either one is better than the other, but I'm just mentioning that there are a lot of opportunity costs in inequality. So a lot of countries don't even have like proper healthcare, so they give birth at home, and majority of the time they have so many children that they don't have the proper documentations for it as well, and therefore a lot of these children don't have the identification to open a bank account to make money overseas. Having this platform for them to potentially, get their work done on Fiverr or make money, or like even the call center, where they outsource to India or Bangladesh, is an opportunity for them to make good income. Like if they're just making USD, it can really translate to an entire month's of families' meal expenses in that. So I do see the value in this part of cryptocurrency as well. So in the growth part, let's just say, other than that intrinsic value of how good I feel knowing that this is the world that I'm pulling into me, do you think that more people are getting bank accounts or more people are getting smartphone? Let's talk about the world in general. I think more and more people are getting smartphones, especially places where bank access is not that easily available. You can still see them using smartphones, right? And a lot of places where cash is preferred over banks, they have smartphone. So in general, I think adoption of smartphones are so much quicker than people getting their bank accounts. Just having a smartphone, you're able to open a cryptocurrency wallet. This could potentially be their bank account, you know, the crypto wallet where they are working to gain more money from overseas and having the option to spend it in their own country. Like everywhere I go now, I'm just paying with my phone also. I'm not even bringing my wallet anymore. Now thinking about it, you know that it is going to take a while for you to see the adoption of all these currencies, and that is really a future that I like to see. It would give people who don't have equal opportunities a potential of equal opportunities, but it still would take years before the adoption for them to be able to make money on the platform as well as spend it outside. And then the next one is the economic side, where your currency is tagged to the country you're with. Whatever currency you're holding or where you're born is highly dependent on whether you're going to make it in life or not. So you could also say that every currency represents an economy. So even though you're, removing yourself from a country, whether euro, pound, Sing dollar, Swiss franc, etc., you're actually putting yourself into another type of governance and another type of policy and another type of belief. Because when you're holding on to Sing dollar, it means that you are believing that Singapore will be outperforming in the future, right? You are holding on to this currency knowing that, okay, this is what I will be making my money in and spending it in. So each of these blockchain project has its own ecosystem and its own purpose. So for example, Ethereum powers the Ethereum blockchain, and its value is a reflection of the network's adoptability, utility, and innovation. So it's similar to a country's currency where it reflects its policies, economic health, and the stability of the country. So are we really escaping anything? And then in each cryptocurrency, it has a community of its stakeholders, its developers, its users, and its investors who believes in the project and contribute to its growth. So it kind of resembles the citizens of the country. So for example, it's Dogecoin. Everyone thinks like, how much can Dogecoin go? But now it's in its billions. So the thing is, people are being connected by lightheartedness in this community. It's like a world that is fueled by this joke, and it's a joke that's being kept alive by many minds. So now it goes back to the thought of nothing is real unless we give it our attention. And this is just another form of physical manifestation on how the world works. So I constantly feel that whatever advancement we're going into, whatever technology we're going into, we're still going back to spirituality. Or maybe that's just me, but basically I can see relevance in everything and everywhere we're looking. And now, since we're on this topic, right, I want to talk a bit about AI. A lot of people have this negative view on AI and how they think that AI is going to take over the world, with our new glasses, to step inside this metaverse and connect with other people from all around the world. I see there is benefits for this, especially people with like disability. They will be fully able to express themselves despite of the limitations that is given to them. And also, I feel that with AI, we would be able to see more on ourselves, to understand that the world is not just see it, smell it, taste it, touch it. It's not just based on our five senses. I feel like with AI, it's trying to put our brain into a set of algorithm, and then we would realize that we are not just that set of algorithm. We will realize that a lot of times, a lot of these ideas that we have been getting needs to be from our brain itself, because we are the ones with the pineal gland. We are the one that is talking to God constantly. And AI can't transcend this 3D world into the 5D. We are the only ones that are able to transcend the multiple dimensions in things that we cannot yet measure. So everything that we have, the tools that we have right now, are just tools that enable us to measure with our eyes, our ears, right? Music, seeing, smelling, tasting. We are all just using these tools to then translate into our 5 senses that we currently can understand. But there is so many other things that we cannot measure, like a gut feeling, like an inspiration, like an idea that just hit out of nowhere, like a voice in my head. These are all things that we can't measure, and with AI, I think that we would push it all the way until, you know, like really amazing discoveries. Then we'll realize that humans are still better. We are still irreplaceable. Let it do our laundry. Let it do, you know, like things that I don't want to do, but leave the creativity and all the fun stuff like this, like talking to God, like being a messenger, to me. So I do see a lot of benefits in AI. I do see people learning more about themselves, and that is something I look forward to. So let's say if you know that everything we place our attention on is then made real, I would like to invite you guys on this thought with me that AI is here to help human transcend into the next level, to help us understand more about ourselves, and the money that we put in today is a vote for the future that we want to see. Okay, so the point is, whatever I'm investing my money in, it has to touch my soul. It has to be something that I feel is deep within, answering something, a calling, that a problem that I would feel happier when it's being solved. And that is, you know, giving equal opportunities to place with inequality. And I'm perfectly fine if I lose the money, as long as I know that some progress are being made into that idea. So when we put our money into that idea, someone has this money now to then bring that idea to life. So you have to trust the person behind it. You have to trust the government that is behind this particular blockchain that you are invested in. Only then you are able to deal with the emotional losses, so, or the physical loss if it doesn't go according to plan. But at least I know that it has been brought this far ahead. I'm also in the knowing that everyone else also see this as a problem that they potentially want to solve, and I'm perfectly happy to push the value up a bit higher to gain more attention, because what we focus on grows. And if we focus on this solution, this is the solution that will be brought forward to us. I also know there's a lot of people who are not that much spiritually attached to cryptocurrency. They just want to grab their bag and run and all that. But for me, I think that there is another crowd like us that wants to know more about cryptocurrency, but we just don't understand it. And we want it to speak to our hearts. We want to be as passionate as all these degens, but we just don't get it. So I hope that this video really answers some of the questions that you have, or that you might not have thought of asking yet, but now know a bit better about cryptocurrency and why I've chose to invest in them, and how you can put your money into a cause that you support, that is not under any organization. So it's basically just giving the power back to the people. I feel like it's my responsibility, coming from someone in the first world, to put in some of my funds, not more than 10% every month, into a project that I think can help others. And the risk I am willing to take would then pay me in the future when this problem is actually solved. So until the problem is solved, I'm okay with not taking back my money. So I hope this video gives you guys a bit more light on why I've decided to invest in cryptocurrency. I see the usability in it, and If you guys enjoyed this video and want to know what I am currently invested in, leave it down in the comment section below. And if this actually sparked a thought in you to find out more about cryptocurrency and maybe you have some questions, leave them down in the comment section below. I would be happy to explore the thought with you. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!